Namaste everyone, wishing you a very happy 2023. It's the Chess Puzzler. I hope this year brings a lot of improvement in your chess and I intend to contribute to your progress. So thank you for all your encouragement, which helps me keep publishing newer videos with improved quality for you. Today's theme is the Petrosian draw. This formation is so strong that a draw is a common result. One of the famous examples of this particular pattern is the 12th game from the 1966 World Championship match between Petrosian and Boris Spassky in Moscow. I am going to attach the link to this game in the description for you. Now, you might be wondering why a particular player would go for a draw instead of win. Normally, this happens when one side has sacrificed heavily and they cannot recover the lost material, so they've set up this motif to ensure that they at least secure a draw. Some of the things that we need to look out for in this particular puzzle theme is that our bishop should be on the long diagonal, which it is. The rook should be on g7, which in this example it is. The king should be stuck on the h8 square, which also is the case in this particular structure. And finally, you must have realized that this puzzle theme is very similar to what we saw in the previous theme, which was seesaw. The only difference in this case would be that we do not have enough material to capture while giving the discovered checks with our bishop. With that, let's see how we can solve this example. I will provide one more example after this, which will be followed by 3 puzzles for you to solve today. In this case, as we can see, once the rook moves to g6, the king has only one spot to go. That's h7 because of the discovered check and the g file being secured by the rook. So the king will move to h7 and we will give the check from g7, which will force the king to move back to h8, and we will repeat these moves 3 times to secure a draw. Another example with few different pieces here and there will result in the same draw. We'll start with rook f7. The king will have to come to g8, rook g7, rook h8, rook f7, and so on. And once we do this 3 times, it's a draw. However, in this example, we saw that the first move made by rook was f7. Instead of f7, if it moves to d7 attacking the knight, it will still result in a draw. The knight will prevent the discovered check. The rook will try to pin the black rook over here so that when we take the knight, the black rook cannot take it back. So the black rook will take our rook. We give a check attacking the rook and we take the rook. And we all know that a single bishop cannot checkmate the opponent king. Another example is if instead of f7, the rook moves to a random square like e7. The result will still be the same. The knight will block, bishop will take, rook will take, and now this will eventually result in a draw. I hope these examples were enough for you to solve the 3 puzzles which I'm going to present now. This is the first puzzle. It's white to move. Please think of all the different variations that you can. Pause the video and come back whenever you are ready. Alright, we can see that the black king is actually trapped on g8. So let's exploit that fact. We'll start with rook g7 check. King has only one square to go, where it is going to get a discovered check because of our bishop on d4. Rook d7, check, king comes back to g8, rook g7, and so on. This will result in a draw. However, after the king moving to h8, in case if we played rook to e7 or some other square on this rank, then our rook simply takes the bishop with a check, and this is a lost game for white. So we need to make sure that we are blocking the black rook from taking our bishop on d4 so that we can continue giving the check using our bishop. The puzzle number 2, it's white to move. Please pause the video, think for a solution and come back when you're ready. This one may have been slightly tricky. Although the concept remains the same that we have to draw by repetition, this has nothing to do with the black king. What we are going to do is we are going to continuously attack the black bishop, because if black gets a chance to move its rook somewhere, then this bishop is going to give us a discovered check. So we might as well capture it when we get that check. Let's see how it goes. We start with rook f6, attacking the black bishop. Naturally, the black bishop is going to move somewhere, because if the black rook moves, then we'll simply take the bishop and white is winning. So black goes to b7. We follow that bishop to b6, goes to f3, rook comes back to f6, b7, rook b6, and this will continue because the black bishop cannot satisfactorily stand anywhere where the white rook cannot attack. So we will not allow black to check us, and therefore by repetition this game will be a draw. Presenting the final puzzle of the day, it's black to move. Please think of all the variations in your head before you come back for the solution. This is going to help you improve your chess a lot, believe me. Good luck. Alright, I am confident that you must have noticed that the white queen is attacking our queen, which is not defended. And we have this battery of attack coming up on the f file, which may result in checkmate for the black king. We have to try to stop it. The other thing that you may have noticed is that our bishop is beautifully placed on the long diagonal. So there is a very good opportunity for us to have the Petrosian draw on the g2 square. Let's see how we can do that. We'll start with rook to c2, allowing the white to take our queen on b6, followed by rook g2, king will go to h1, and now we will start the windmill of checks, resulting in a draw. Another variation that we can look at is, after the first move of rook c2, white can simply give us a check on f8. We'll move our king on g7, after which we can escape through h6, and if the white queen moves for a temporary check, we can simply slide our rook back to g2 and achieve the Petrosian draw. However, black can easily make a mistake in this case. Once the white king slides to h1, instead of sliding our rook back on the second rank, if rook moves to g3, white can simply give up its rook as a trade against the bishop, and white will be left with a queen while black will be with a rook. This is going to be winning for white. I hope you learned a lot from the Petrosian draw theme. If you did, then kindly like this video and post some comments as to how I can improve my videos for you. It's the Chess Puzzler signing out.